Hello, I'm Sister Margaret Obrovac, a daughter of St. Paul. We have good news. That's what Pope St. Paul VI, canonized just this morning, said during a very confusing time in the Church's history, shortly after the Second Vatican Council. Honestly, he could have written those words this morning. Let's listen. We are to preach the gospel in this extraordinary period of human history, a time surely without precedent. In this time, peaks of achievement never before attained are matched by similarly unprecedented depths of bewilderment and despair. If there were ever a time when Christians were challenged to be a light to illumine the world, a city on a hill, surely that time is now. For we possess the antidote to pessimism, the gloomy foreboding, the dejection and fear which afflict our time. We have good news. I'm standing outside the door of the prayer, outside St. Peter's Basilica. It's called that because etched in bronze, right here above my head, are the words of the prayer of Pope Paul VI himself, a prayer for faith. And I have the four evangelists peering right over my shoulder, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Pope Paul's faith is a faith that he shared with 6 others who were canonized with him today, including El Salvador's Archbishop Oscar Romero, Archbishop of San Salvador, who was martyred in the cause of gospel justice for the oppressed of his country. 2 different men who admired and respected and loved each other. Romero said, there are 2 theologies of liberation. One is that which sees liberation solely in material terms. The other is that of Paul VI. I'm with Paul VI. For his part, Pope Paul called Romero to Rome more than once and encouraged him in his ministry. Even when the church of their times fell short of their expectations, they encouraged each other. What is that? In this time in which we live, is this really a time for evangelization? Why would we want to draw people to a church that is experiencing such confusion and such darkness? Well, it's kind of like marriage. Those of you who are married will understand this perfectly. And those of us in religious community can understand it too. When you marry somebody, you say, oh, well, I'm marrying you, I'm not marrying your family. But that person you love actually comes from a family. And in a sense, you're inheriting a pack of people that you would never handpick. Same thing in religious community, I can tell you that. And so the church comes with our love for Christ. Pope Paul VI explained it this way, explained evangelization this way. And this is a quote taken from the Wisdom of Pope Paul VI, one of the new publications of Pauline Books and Media. Every one of us, by the very nature of Christianity, must feel ourselves impelled to broadcast good news to the ends of the earth. We cannot keep from speaking about what we have seen and heard. Not one of us Christians, pope, bishop, priest, religious, or layperson, can disclaim responsibility in regard to this essential Christian duty. Let us be very clear on one point. Christ gave his apostles a command that is so concrete and so explicit, it excludes any possibility of uncertainty about his wishes. They were to go into the whole world without exclusion of any part and preach the good news to every creature with no exception of race or time. We are to be willing and ready to speak about our faith when asked, or to live virtue when it's inconvenient or unpopular, or especially when we have to pay a price to do so, or to pray when it's just as inconvenient or just as unpopular. Nobody likes to stick out or to be odd, and yet, surprisingly, how many people secretly admire those who do? Today's saints would understand that. This faith of ours, what is it? Well, Paul cheerfully says, the good news is this: that God loves us, that he became man to share in our life and to share his life with us, that he walks with us every step of the way, taking our concerns as his own, for he cares about us, and that therefore no one is alone, for God is present in their entire history, that of peoples and that of individuals, that he will bring us, if we allow him, to an eternal happiness beyond the bounds of human existence. This is not something we can get on our own steam. And Pope Paul leads us in that prayer for that kind of faith. This is the abridged version of his prayer that is up on these doors. You can't get the prayer in English anywhere, even online. It is in this book, but we'll pray the shortened version now. Lord, I believe. I want to believe in you. O Lord, make my faith pure. O Lord, make my faith free. O Lord, make my faith sure. O Lord, make my faith strong. O Lord, make my faith cheerful. O Lord, make my faith fruitful in good works. O Lord, make my faith humble. Amen.